Hello guys, today I have a pretty interesting video for you all. Now, I'm going to be very honest, I've never really played Pokemon seriously before, and I realize this is not really my usual type of content, but I've always wanted to try out Pixelmon, so when I got approached by play.pokezone.net whether I could make a 100 days Pixelmon video, I said yes. So thanks to them for sponsoring this video. The server itself has a lot of features like gyms, safaris, tournaments, quests, and challenges, and I guess we will all get to that in the video, but for the first 100 days I set myself these goals. My first goal is to capture as many Pokemon as possible and add them to my Pokedex. My second goal is to capture a shiny Pokemon. My third goal is to beat one of the gyms that spawn in the world. And my very final goal is to battle and capture the 3 legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres, and that's not going to be easy. Oh, and if you want to check out the server, IP is in the description, as well as a tutorial video where I explain to you how to set up the mod pack and join the server. I myself am playing on the PokeLegends realm. So sit back, relax and enjoy. And let's start this journey on day 1. I joined the server, walked over to the selector NPC and I entered the PokeLegends realm and chose the Charmander Generation 1 starter kit. Why do you ask me? I really don't know. And yes, the hotbar is missing for the first 2 days. I spawned close to this village and decided to check it out. I saw this weird looking tree, but it's actually an apricorn. I could use those later so I can make Pokeballs and catch some Pokemon. I gathered up more while also looking for a place to build a base. When I saw Weedle, I threw my Pokeball at him and defeated him easily. Then I decided to gather up some resources like iron and coal. Now as the sun rose on day 2, I continued exploring and came across several structures, and when I saw this river, I figured I had traveled enough and started transforming the terrain to build a base. I also planted some sugarcane, and at the end of day 2 I started building my house. I don't really know what this fisherman was doing here either. I melted up some bauxite and iron ore and built myself a fancy floor. It is day 3 and my hotbar is back, look at that. Now first thing I did was planting some more of those weird looking trees so I could farm the apricorns quicker. I gathered up some sand, built a window and finally got a roof over my head. I smashed this iron ingot and made a new pickaxe to get some diamonds to eventually make myself a poke healer. But after an entire day of mining, I only got these fake diamonds called crystals. So I returned home, expanded my apricorn farm and leveled up Charmander a few levels by defeating some Pokemons in the wild because why not? But you know, it's Minecraft, so when I found a promising cave, I went back to mining on day 5. Again though, still no luck. So I just decided to straight up buy a diamond and was finally able to craft up this healer. It was day 6 and I decided to go explore the area around my base, and while we were at it, why not battle some more Pokemons? And apparently this fisherman guy is still here. Then I remembered you could do Warp, Evolve to power level your Pokemon, so I stayed here for the rest of day 6 until I had evolved Charmander into a Charmeleon. The next day I wanted to go to the Safari Zone to catch some more Pokemon. This is also the place where my Charmander burned the sheep alive. I got a chance to capture myself a Magnemite as my secondary Pokemon and was pretty happy with that. On day 8 I figured out how to use Bingo and I started working on filling up a row of Pokemon to get that juicy prize. I mean, to be fair, Charmander was doing all the hard work for me there. Soon after I got very lucky because I found this shiny Helioptile. And quickly I caught him, or her, completing my second goal for this video of catching a shiny Pokemon. I also battled some bosses and I did not stand a chance. Then I realized I only needed to catch 2 more Pokemon to finish a row, an Emolga and a Jamask. First I went hunting for an Emolga and it wasn't until the end of day 11 when I finally found one. After that I captured a Jamask to finish up the row of Bingo. I spent the entirety of day 12 doing 2 hunts. This was because you can get some cool rewards by completing them. I started with the easy hunt and searched for a fungus, and obviously I defeated him. The medium hunt however was a little harder. And yes, I might have missed 2 Pokeballs, don't look at me like that. But in the end I still managed to capture the Helioptile. It is day 13 already and I decided to do one more hunt for Violi, but after a while searching for one, I gave up. The rest of day 14 and 13, wait, that's the wrong order. The rest of day 13 and 14 I spent leveling up my Pokemon while killing bosses. And yes, I suck with Pokeballs. On day 15 someone told me that it's a lot more efficient to level up your Pokemons at Warp Evolved, and so that's what I did the entirety of day 15. This was all preparation for me to capture the 3 legendary birds. But there was one thing I had been neglecting this entire video so far. The potatoes were crying for a bit of my attention, so on day 16 I decided to make myself a potato farm. I cut down a bit of this forest, got rid of some dirt and stone to make space. And yes, this took a while. In fact, it took so long that this hoe gave up on life, but the end result was going to be worth it. The smell of newly planted potatoes, it's magnificent. I bone mealed the shit out of this potato because I needed more. Can't have enough, let's be honest here. On day 19 I spent some time in the nether trying to mine some glowstone to make the farm glow at night. But while scattering, I had this strange feeling that I was being watched by someone, and when I looked around, I saw a player standing there, just staring at me, and then he disappeared. When I thought I had enough glowstone, I returned home and finished my farm on day 20. I also built a fence around the farm, and to make it better accessible, I built a small bridge. After all that hard work, it was time to relax while doing some fishing for 3 full days. During this time, I also expanded the potato farm, and on day 24, I wanted to complete the entire bingo board and melted up some apicorn to make Pokeballs. In the next Minecraft week, I caught several different Pokemons, which I needed. The footage isn't all that exciting, so we're going straight to day 31. Now on this day, I set out to complete my first goal of getting as many Pokemon as possible. For this, however, I wanted to make a fossil machine. This is a machine that could turn your fossils into actual Pokemons, which you could then add to your Pokedex. But of course, I first had to take care of my potatoes, and apparently there are 2 fishermen now. So to gather up resources for the fossil machine, I went mining and got lucky with finding some diamonds too. I smelted up the ores, and the next 2 days I went exploring in the wild, searching for new Pokemon to capture. On day 34, I crafted up the fossil machine and hid some iron ingots till they were flat. I was missing some resources, so went back mining real quick, and there it was, my beautiful machine. Now I could simply chuck in the fossils, wait for a little bit, and a Pokemon started rolling out. I also farmed potatoes and apricorns on day 35 so I could make myself some more Pokeballs. Oh, and I captured this wild Pokemon who got a little bit too close to my base. It was day 36 and I wanted to start working on completing the 3rd goal I had set for myself, battling and capturing the 3 legendary birds. This was not easy, however, because I first needed to gather up the orbs, which could only be obtained from legendary and ultimate bosses. After that, I had to capture 375 Pokemon souls for each one of those orbs to fully charge them. And once I had done all that, only then we could spawn in the birds and capture them. However, I forgot to record day 36 till 42. But to be honest, nothing really interesting happened, so I guess it's not that bad. I simply searched for bosses at the Safari Zone, trying to get the orbs I needed, but after killing bosses for 6 days without any luck, I just gave up. So on day 43, I went hunting for Pokeloots instead, and soon after I managed to find all the orbs that I needed. And luckily, I already had found the evolution stones, and so I could craft up the orb of fiery souls and also the orb of static souls. And apparently this is not how you craft the orb of frozen souls. But now I had to do the grindy part of this challenge, filling up every single orb by capturing the souls of Pokemon. Only then we could use the orbs on the shrines to spawn in the birds. I started with the orb of static souls on day 44 and finally completed it on day 48. But of course, I cannot neglect the potato farm. On day 49, I focused on getting myself an enchanting table and got myself a shiny pickaxe, and the next day I terraformed some terrain to make place for a new apricorn farm. It was day 51 now. We've officially passed the halfway point. The next 4 days I spent filling up the orb of frozen souls by once again defeating 375 Pokemon. Now on day 55, I was just vibing at my base, doing some fishing, crafting up some Pokeballs, and turning fossils into Pokemon. But then I decided it was time for a little adventure, and so I left my base on the morning of day 56, searching for a gym. Gyms are structures that spawn near towns, and when you defeat the trainers and the gym leader, you can get some really good rewards. I continued looking and came across several different structures, and on day 57 I finally found a steel type gym, which I then attempted to beat. But after trying 4 times without success, I had to accept defeat at the end of day 58, and I returned home empty-handed. After that failed adventure, I was scared to leave my base and returned to fishing and mining in order to gather up resources, because I wanted more Pokeballs, which I did till day 60. I also yeeted the skeleton out of existence. Now I had heard of this dimension called Ultra Space, and I really wanted to check it out. To enter this dimension, you either have to find a naturally spawned Ultra Wormhole or obtain a certain Pokemon. But I wasn't planning on going through all that trouble, so I did this very hard thing of typing /warp Ultra Space, and there we go. Totally not because of the YouTuber rank or anything. The Ultra Space is basically every dimension mixed in together, and it creates this weird looking foggy space with all types of biomes, islands and structures. My main reason for going here was to find a Pokemon called Cortana. It is really rare and only spawns in the Ultra Forest biome, but sadly after exploring this dimension till day 64, I was not able to find one. On day 65 I wanted to do some quests, which is a feature on the server where you have to follow a chain of objectives in order to receive a reward. Now I first started with a quest where I had to gather up certain lock types because that seemed pretty easy, and so I enchanted my axe and got to work, and soon after I was able to get an Ultra Key and other rewards as well on day 66. Now I found out there are some mining quests as well, and might have spent a full Minecraft week in the mines, and for some reason I actually got lucky and found a ton of diamonds. When I finally emerged from the caves, I had to spend quite some time smelting the ores for my huge mining session. I crafted my resources into blocks, used a fossil machine because I didn't craft that thing for nothing, and then I realized I totally forgot about my goals of capturing the bird and defeating a gym. And so the next day I decided to try and defeat the gym once again. We all know what happened last time, but I was not going to give up so easily. I ended up spending most of day 76 trying to capture myself 2 more fire type Pokemon, so that I would be able to double the amount of damage to the grass type gym leaders. Once I had done that, I took my newly caught Pokemon to the evolved training place and battled the NPC trainers till day 80, until I thought my Pokemon would be strong enough to defeat a grass type gym leader. And I really tried my best, but I got wrecked, just like last time. And instead of spending another 2 hours of my life leveling up, I wasted the next few days by doing some quests. The first quest was to defeat 250 wild Pokemon, and at the end of day 82 I finally finished capturing them and was able to claim my quest. On day 83 I decided to accept the next quest, for which I had to defeat 500 wild Pokemon. And I am fully aware this is probably just me delaying beating the gym or the legendary birds, but hey. At the end of day 86, I claimed my reward and finally worked up the courage to go for my goals. Nope, you wish. I just spent the next day fishing on my usual fishing spot. I mean, everyone has like their own fishing spot in the world, right? On day 88, I was like, well, let's just get some Pokemon, which I have not captured before. And at this point, I had to face it. I was definitely delaying the inevitable. For now though, enjoy the montage. But I realized the clock was ticking and 2 of my main goals had not been completed yet, and so I decided to capture the 3 legendary birds. I opened the chest and saw I only had filled up 2 orbs so far. So first I had to fill up the very last orb, the orb of fiery souls. After a bit of grinding, more like 6 days of grinding, I finally charged up the orb completely. Day 98 was going to be the big day. I loaded the orbs in my inventory and walked up to the shrine with full confidence. Then, the fight began. Now, I am fully aware that I could have used Master Balls, but I did not want it to be that easy. And after a hard fight, Moltres was out of the picture. I stepped up to the static shrine, and even though he put up a great fight, he had to accept defeat as well. 1 bird to go. Was Articuno going to be stronger than I thought? My heart was pounding in my chest. And just like that, our goal was completed. Now there was one more thing left to do, beating a gym. The next 2 days I spent preparing for the gym, the best I could. I was afraid it wasn't going to be enough, so when I stepped into the ring with the cross gym leader Sadakan on day 100, worry overcame me. Was I going to let you guys down? Was I going to fail the goals I had set for myself? We were about to find out. But no, we won the fight, and with that, we also won the war. And that is how I spent 100 days in Pixelmon. I completed my main 4 goals, and I can say that if you like Pokemon and Minecraft, you will like Pixelmon as well. Consider checking out the server, and if you don't know how to join, click the link in the description where I show you how to install the mod pack and how to join the server. Thank you for watching. I see you all in the next video. Goodbye.